part of the question, like, what is your thought on the best time to invest in real estate?
Well, there's no, if you, the one thing a professor ever told me in school that was worth a damn was if I could answer that or if you could answer that, you'd be a trillionaire. No one knows. And any economist or anyone says otherwise, they're lying. They don't know. So the best time, and this is why the advice I give generally on real estate, it's very specific to the individual because of where you are in your life. Like you may be in the market for property, whereas I may not.
Right.
You may be settling down, having a family. I may be internet consultant guy. So I mean, it really depends on the individual. And then the next thing that actually has to do with the real estate market is, well, what if you know you're going to live in a certain area for a certain amount of time, and okay, fine, it makes sense to buy. Well, what are rents like then?
Right.
And so you got to compare interest rates to rents is essentially
Buying versus renting, basically.
Right, and it's the old buy versus rent. And depending on interest rates or how much you're bringing to a down payment on the house and things like that, those which are very specific to the individual will ultimately make your decision. But generally speaking, to look or analyze real estate as it should be from a traditional fundamental perspective is, can you rent it out for more than your mortgage and operating costs and total costs that come into running the property?
Right.
So if your mortgage plus operating expenses and taxes is $3,000 a month, but you can get it at a price and rent it out for $5,000 a month, well, okay, then that cash flow, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if it doesn't cash flow, that's a bad deal. So, but again, you got to sleep somewhere.
Yeah.
And depending on your life, those are going to be more determining factors as to whether or not you should personally buy a property at that point in time.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, that's true too. And there's also there's so many positives. It's such a you know, you have to weigh your options out, and like it's so situational on a person. Like someone could say like one negative thing, especially if you become like this, is the more you get into crypto or the more you get into like, I don't know, I guess affluence and stuff where you can travel. People actually then most people. I mean, like outside, if the internet didn't exist, I personally probably would have died within probably like 100 miles of where I was born. Probably, if I'm being honest.
That's
like, I mean, I lived most of my life 25 miles away from the hospital I was born. Yeah, like seriously, like I probably would. I mean, you know, there's a lot of truth. I mean, most people throughout all of history, I mean, very few of them actually traveled.
Oh, the vast majority of human existence is, you know, we go back 100 years, and that was a fact. Yeah. You rarely made it 20 miles away.
And here I am in the desert with this fox.
I wouldn't be here either if it wasn't for the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, so this is the sort of thing where like some people, like it's that whole thing where you have the golden cage, where like, and like, then people eventually get to the position where they hustle really hard for a long time, get the house, and then eventually they get to this position where like now the house is tying them down to an area. And they're like, shit. I can't travel. I have the house, I have the mortgage. We're going to Airbnb it, and most people who Airbnb their houses, it's a side hustle. It's not a job. It's not a business really. Like there'll be like most people who Airbnb their house, it's Airbnb 3 months a year, if that. Right. You know, and it just covers a couple mortgage payments. That's it, basically. Right. So, I think, I mean it always is lifestyle wise. If you have a family, it is kind of, you do want to settle down somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to have to, when kids come in there. But in general, I mean, if you're a young single person, boy, you really got to want to live in that place.
Yeah.
I'd strongly advise you to travel and go do as much traveling as you can before you buy a house. So, but you know, and then it may be in Croatia for all you know, but make sure you find out where you want to go. But yeah, housing, unless is he talking real estate investment trust, like securitized real estate?
Well, I think he was just talking in general. Probably, since he was asking the crypto question first, he probably was meaning like, once I'm making all this money from crypto, should I just dump my crypto money into real estate? Which I really do believe that crypto and real estate have the most risk versus a little bit much safer controlled risk. And there is this longing for people into the crypto space to kind of have like, I wish I had some bedrock instead of being like, I'm consistently in this sort of like, I'm in sand. I'm in no pun intended, but like I'm in quicksand a little bit where I have to consistently be like moving and keep, you know, not playing hot potato, but kind of like I have to be.
You got to keep your finger on the pulse of it. Yeah.